Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to your Rangers Rabble afternoon podcast. Bryan, I'm Bryan, the host today, and I am joined by Trevor and Demi. Trevor, how are we?
Yeah, the same before. Meh, okay. Yeah, all right considering, I guess. Hope you're well.
Absolutely. Demi, how are you?
Football aside, I'm absolutely Baltic, but I'm all right.
Yeah, I was just thinking about
early. We were early.
Exactly. So, it's when you're organised and you're ready, when we're all here, that's what happens. Those amazing things happen. You're on time. So, yeah, absolutely. Just waiting for Lyndon, but Lyndon's no sign. I've not seen him yet, so we shall see. But anyway, obviously, the one thing we can speak about this afternoon is the old statement that came out yesterday. Now, Trevor, I don't know where the club can go from here now. I don't think it went far enough. I think it was a little bit weak. What options are left for the club now? Because they've asked the question again. I just don't see where they can go from here. If they haven't, for me, went strong enough in that statement.
It's a difficult one, Bryan. It really, how could you go further without crossing the line? Almost, it comes back to me about this dossier that Stuart was getting together about all these examples. He was going to present them to the SFA and go, see, here's evidence right in your face. How can you say otherwise? And I'm still waiting for this dossier. Does it even exist? Was it fluff? Is the Jack Butland incident going to get added to that dossier, for example? I was thinking about this the other day, how they could actually go further. Because if you think about it, guys, in every football association around the world, I think I said this the other day, someone's got to be held accountable, a step up. A CEO at a company has the board to answer to. The board have shareholders usually to answer to. There's always someone to answer to. So why did SFA not get away with this? There's got to be someone that actually says, wait a minute, you're taking the piss a little bit here. Now, I know I mentioned this the other day, I got laughs and jokes about, I mentioned the F word and the U word, FIFA, UEFA, and I was like, yeah, don't laugh at the back, corruption and blah, 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 blah. But these are organisations that but have an oversight of all the countries' associations. So if they're generally taking the piss constantly, surely to God there's another avenue you can go to with all this evidence and say, right, I've had enough. I don't think you can go to the Sporting Court of Arbitration or whatever the hell it's called. It's not called that.
Court of Arbitration for Sport.
That's the one. Thank you, my man. Yeah, it's all jumbled up now, see. Don't think we could go there because I think it's just for individual people, players and whatnot. I don't think it's for clubs, but I could be wrong. But let's get this dossier out first and foremost, because in that stupid little show that Willie Collum has, the VAR show, he'll come out and he'll say, I'm sorry, that should have been a red card for Butland, and it will never happen again until the next time when it does happen again. So the board had to come out and say something, 100%, Bryan, because they would be in a shocking position if they never said anything. I just don't know what extra else they could say, considering what they've got to play with. At the end of the day, it's the SFA's ball, right? And if they want to take the ball home, they can, unfortunately. So this is what happens when we're down the leagues in the banter years. That lot managed to get an iron grip on the political situation, the football political landscape in the country, and they held on for dear life. And how you get that back is bloody hard. Winning trophies first and foremost. So yeah.
I mean, Demi, it is difficult, isn't it? I mean, it's where you go so that you're not going to get in trouble, probably legally. I think that's where the club have got to be careful. And I get that, but at the same time, as somebody said in our group chat this morning, that statement that they put out yesterday was almost a copy and paste of what's happened before. So they didn't work. So what can realistically the club do?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I believe it was the Hibs game, when Bomber called it out on Rangers TV, and, the SFA hit at it straight away. And, it was you can't say that. So, and, obviously Bomber's he's not a player, he's not a coach. He's at that point, yeah, okay, he's a club ambassador, but at that point, he was there as a pundit on Rangers TV. So, I mean, if he's getting called up for that, you can only imagine what the actual club would get called up for, if they came out with, with such things. But, in all honesty, I don't believe that there is this, this corruption that everyone's speaking about. I do just think that the referees are absolutely particularly hopeless. Because we're not the only ones it happens to, but, we only report on when it happens to us. Similar to, if it happens to Hearts, or they'll only report if it happens to them, or Motherwell, they're not going to go on and start reporting when it happens to us. So, similarly, I think, if they're going to do this report, they need to do it, from, the clubs all need to kind of, sort of come together, because, I'm sure that list could be even more extensive than it is now, if they've got the wrong decisions. You see it, in the sort of bottom half of the table games at the end of last season, there was beginning of this season, but it's not really spoken about as much because it's Motherwell and Kilmarnock. We notice it when it happens to us in big games, but yeah, I mean, it's quite frankly, like I think someone said it earlier, you can allow the ref to get it wrong because he only sees it once. VAR, quite frankly, have no excuse, because they look back and they can see it 3, 4, 5 times, and the amount of times that all of these VAR checks seem to take these days, they are looking at it 3, 4, 5 times. So I'm not entirely sure how they're coming to this conclusion.
Yeah, Trev, I mean, my whole problem with this, refereeing decisions and stuff, is VAR came in for a certain reason. VAR came in to give the referees another opportunity to, get something right if they felt there was, or they weren't sure and they wanted to have another look at it. That's what VAR came in for. But for me, VAR is the problem you still have is it's still the same people officiating, running the VAR. So nothing's really changing, is it? And the thing is as well, the VAR situation could change in the sense that it doesn't have to be, I mean, because they do it from a van, don't they? Or they do it from some remote sort of location. So there's no excuse for having a VAR team in Belgium or a VAR team in Portugal or somebody else operating the VAR. There's no excuse, because obviously you need the referee on the pitch, so that makes that issue quite easy. But for me, the VAR situation, they could easily move around the VAR people all over Europe, couldn't they? Oh, Trev.
I've just carded myself, mate. I don't need to. I've just sent myself off, to be fair. The VAR thing, oh my God, it's opening a can of worms, this one. Right, okay. You could have a team essentially from anywhere. There's going to be the argument that, well, we don't have refs from other countries, although we should and we could. To be fair, I don't see why not. The VAR team, I think they're based in, is it Clyde House or something? Where it's a central location somewhere. They all feed in. But there isn't enough people in there, to be fair. Do they need to be the same level of referee as the actual man in the middle of the park? Do they need to be that? Surely we could try and recruit more people with training that could give opinions on that and not be the same guys, because you will keep getting the same mistakes and the same issues if you keep putting more or less the same people in there. We don't have enough talent and quality in the whole refereeing department, full stop, in the country. So something needs to change there for sure. I think Willie Collin, when he first came in, I hated him as a ref, right? But see, when he became head honcho, he actually, I thought, was actually starting to do things. He was calling things out. He was like, right, sorry, that should have been given. That won't happen again. But then it kept happening, Willie. So if he's going raging at his refs, then do something about it, mate. Like, drop someone for several games. Like, actually make them punishable. If I'd done that in my work all the time, I would get a warning. So many warnings and then out the door. They can't keep getting away with it, man. They can't keep getting away with it. We need better training. And also, people say when it comes to VAR, like, we can't blame the technology, it's the people. And while I agree with that statement first and foremost, we could be improving the technology side of things. We've got hardly any camera angles. Compared to the Premiership, we have got a small percentage of what they have. I think we've got like 5 or 6 at best camera angles, at best. I think they've got like double or triple that in the Premiership. So we need that for starters. The technology could be better. This semi-assisted offside thing that we're talking about, that Arsene Wenger was talking about, that should be in. Goal line technology is not even here. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, such an obvious, simple thing. Someone did tell me it would cost more to implement that, maintain it, than VAR. I don't know why, but, you know, it's a simple thing that this should be in place, and it's not. We don't hear what they're talking about, but the commentators can hear the VAR stuff, but we can't. Like, take a leaf from the rugby people. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason that sport, fans mix and they can drink and all that, and you hear what the ref is saying, and it's open, it's transparent. This is football's the most popular sport in the country, by a country mile. And we don't do enough to support it and have all these things in it. So if we need to move the team elsewhere, mate, the VR team, do it. But I would say let's get more people in and train more people up to at least do that, because I'm sick of the same Egypt's being in charge every fucking time.
Yeah.
Sorry, ran over.
No, you're fine. No, I felt one of you was going to do that today, so I thought, well, I didn't know which one, but I thought somebody will.
You started me.
I mean, there's one, Demi. You know, does anyone know how it does for who does it for the rugby? You know, the rugby officials. Have they got their own version of, like, I think it's the TMO, isn't it? TMO's their VAR.
No, I'm going. Dad's hopefully Dad's in the comments, because he watches a lot more rugby than I do. But you know, I think, you know, it's very similar. They have the ref gives an on-field decision, and then it goes to, you know, whatever they have a VAR. I don't know what it's called. And then they communicate, and I believe that they announce it. But hopefully Dad's in somewhere to clarify that, because he watches quite a lot of rugby. So hopefully he knows the answer.
Well, my understanding of the rugby situation is a referee gives, like, say, a try. Yeah? Tries happen. So the referee turns around to the TMO and goes, is there any reason I can't give this try? I don't see anything that's happened, but can you double check this, and this? He instructs the TMO to do something, as in, I need you look at that, and that. Whereas in VAR, it's VAR who tell the ref, oh, you need to come and look at this. So for me, it's that VAR are controlling the ref instead of the ref controlling the VAR.
Right.
That's what needs to happen for me. It's too much the VAR are controlling everything, and the referee doesn't have much say. But I say, Demi, and that's my problem with it all. The referee is the man in the middle. He's the man that's in charge of the game. It's his, you know, he's refereeing it. So why is he getting dictated to by VAR instead of him turning around and saying, look, I think this is a goal, but there's something happened, you know, a move, or, you know, and they'll discuss it. Why does that not happen, Demi?
In Scotland, I genuinely, I think that, you know, the refs aren't strong enough to, you know, stand in front of, you know, however many 50,000 people, say, if we're at Hampden or whatever Hampden holds. I don't think that, you know, the refs are strong enough to stand there and, you know, send it to VAR. So I feel like, you know, they're very supported by the fact that VAR tells them, not the other way around. But, you know, the ref is also entitled to go and have another look at these things. Now, for some of these really controversial opinions, well, why isn't the ref going to, why is he just, you know, he's going, right, I didn't, like, VAR are going, okay, you might have missed that. See the ones where they're taking 5-10 minutes, okay, maybe 10's a bit dramatic, but, you know, the ones that they're taking absolutely ages to look at, send the ref back over and let him, you've told him that you think he's made a mistake and you want it to be reevaluated. So let the man who made the original decision go over and reevaluate it. Don't decide when he goes over to the screen. If you can't make a decision from the first, maybe even the second view of that, if you can't confidently make a decision, send the ref over to watch it again. He's the one who made the decision in the first place. Let him make the final one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Trev, you're nodding your head along there. Yeah. It makes sense, but I mean, sense in Scotland, come on.
It just, to add on what Demi was saying, and yourself, Bryan, that happens way too much in Scottish football. The VAR team seem to be controlling the ref or directing him. I'm sorry, the rest of the top man, supposed to be top man, VAR are a tool at his disposal. He should be asking them, Like, that's why I think VAR should be open to maybe not everything, but I think yellows should be allowed to be in there, for example, reds. And he should be saying to the VAR team, listen, I need your assistance here. I didn't see anything. Did you see something from a different angle? Could you get your best crayons out and draw a line? Again, we're not got enough bloody cameras, so we can't draw proper crayon lines here. But that's what should be happening. It should be like the rugby side of things. This is why it's so much more transparent that way and so much better, and you hear what's going on. What have they got to hide? Why can't we hear what they're saying? And Casey says something that he might regret. What's the secret? What are you holding back? Why, if you've not got trust and confidence in yourself to let people in the stadium hear it when the whole commentary team can hear it? So a lot more needs to be done, Bryan. It's absolutely ridiculous at the moment. Let's see this bloody dossier, man. That's all. So.
Yeah. But I mean, I just feel, Demi, that no matter what Rangers say, as in, complain to the SFA, complain to whoever, it's just going to get hit. It's just going to be met with deaf ears, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to look at the SFA or the SPL, whoever's looking at it. There's not really, it probably is the SFA, to be fair. There's not really, what can they say? They can't come out and say, yeah, you know what, we'll strip all of our refs and go again, because then they're just admitting that they hired the wrong team of refs. And they're not going to turn around and say, by the way, we've got this wrong. So, I feel like to cover, for the sake of covering their own backs, they're just going to come out and say, look, we've learned from it. We won't let it happen again. And then it'll happen again. And then they'll say the same thing again next time, just like they did the last time we called out. It'll just be on these VAR review shows, I believe there was one, I want to say it was at the start of the seasons, there was 4 decisions on the VAR show. 3 were about us and they were all wrong. VAR made the wrong decision on all of them. I forget exactly, where it was, but I feel like it was the beginning of this season, and they admitted that they got all 3 decisions for us wrong. So yeah, I feel like the only thing, for the sake of covering their own backs, they are just going to come out and say we won't let it happen again. And I think someone said it in the comments as well. Is they're not going to go and bring in refs from other countries or whatever, because again they're admitting that they got it wrong in the first place. Yeah,
I mean, Trev, I think everybody would be thinking the same way as I am, in the sense that you can walk away from a game, and if you've played bad, you get beat, you think, right, okay, we were rubbish today. We got beat fair and square. When you're seeing incidents, and I'm speaking about across the whole of Scottish football. I'm not speaking about just us now. I'm going to throw this out, the whole of Scottish football, because, I mean, was it the Motherwell Hibs game? There was a horrendous decision. A boy was sent off there, and it was, overturned very quick. It's just too common a thing now that a referee can make a mistake, VAR can make, because it could get to the point where you've got a team getting relegated because of a decision, and that has the consequences you wouldn't believe. So, as Demi's just said, I just don't know where we go from this, because nothing. The SFA don't have any goodwill to even try and make they're trying to help and solve things. So I just don't know where we go now. And even with VAR, they can't get that right.
I might be wrong in this, first for everything I know. But no, I think this collection of evidence that Stuart's getting together, the dossier, I think it actually includes incidents across Scottish football. I don't think it's just us, so that they can't say, oh, it's just you bias for yourself and all that. They're literally just going through and picking out some shocking examples across all the clubs, including Celtic. They should do that, by the way. There won't be many, we know that, but it should go in for the ones that they didn't get and go, see, we're not bitter. There's a few examples there they didn't get. How much more fair and transparent do you want us to be? Here's evidence here. The chap in the chat, I hope he's not at it, I don't know, Motherwell fan, he's making some good points there. A bit nuclear, maybe we should go and sue the SFA. I am up for it. We've got Americans, they sue before they have their breakfast. So they're the guys to actually do the damage and go in and sue the backside of them, because these the 49er Enterprise guys will have more money than the SFA multiple times over. So let's just go. It could be a laugh. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Demi, it is the nuclear option to go suing, because that is last resort stuff, isn't it? That's where you're at the point of you're thinking, right, I can't do anything else. So here we go. We're gonna. I don't quite want them to go that far, but at the same time, options are running out. Things are, I think every fan in the SPL is feeling the pinch of this sort of incompetence. Call it what you want, but it goes back to the point that VAR was taken in to stop these silly decisions, and we're actually at a point now where the silly decisions are still happening, and VAR's not helping. VAR's not working, is it? Simple as that.
I mean, we'll start from the beginning there. I think we can't. I mean, yeah, we could sue them, but I don't really see what that achieves. Like, okay, we're going at them, and it might achieve it in the future, but might again, suing them doesn't put us, back in any of the cups, or doesn't get rid of any of the decisions that have already been made that, arguably cost us to drop points in games earlier in the season, in previous seasons. So, it's one way to go at them and, show that you're serious, but it doesn't, it doesn't change a lot, because it's, you have to go forward and you have to win it. You can go and sue them, but the whole thing is you then also have to win the case, and we know what the SFA are like, and I'm sure that they would find a way, and I think it puts us in an even worse place if we were to go and do that. But that being said, I do think that we have to be, as Trev just said, I think we really need to build this letter that's going to the SFA, using all examples from all clubs. And there was, I forget who it was, but even if you look at the bottom half of the season last season, bottom half of the table, last season, there was, it might have been Ross County. I want to say it was Ross County, or it was maybe St Johnstone. It was St Johnstone. They got a VAR decision against them in the game against Dundee, which I believe got overturned, and then St Johnstone got relegated. So they potentially don't get relegated had that been done. So it's not just us that's happening to it; it's everywhere. And VAR's not working but it's not VAR that's not working; it's the people in the VAR room that aren't working. Because they're all, quite frankly, because VAR, at the minute is just 2 seasons ago they were our on-field refs. They now just can't run about for 90 minutes, so we've chucked them in a VAR room. So it's the same people who are making these decisions on the pitch 2 seasons ago that are now making these awful decisions in a VAR room. So it's not working because of the people in charge of it.
Here's Bryan. Let me jump in really quickly, mate. Here's a question for both of you, right? Hypothetically, see if you both had a decision to make. If someone said to you, right, we are considering scrapping VAR, would you say yes or no, and why?
At this point, I would say yes, scrap it, because at least you can take a referee having a split decision to make, or a linesman making a split decision. You can forgive that. The problem I've got now is they've got the VAR to help them out and make their decisions easier, and they're still making a hash of it. So you kind of think, well, what's the point of spending all this money on VAR when you can't use it properly? That's my whole point. And it's the fact that it's, as somebody said earlier, it's the tail's wagging the dog rather than the dog wagging the tail. The referee needs to be in charge, and he needs to be the man. It's his game. He needs to make the decisions. For me, it's VAR that are overruling the referee almost, and that's not the way it should be. So just scrap it.
Yeah, Demi.
I'm not sure, because we were podcasts weren't a thing, sort of before VAR, but had they have been, we'd have just been on, we'd be making these exact same points about the referees, and whether it's, we're saying, we can allow the refs to make a mistake, we can't allow VAR to do it. You have the same emotion after, no matter who makes the mistake, whether it's the referee or VAR. You have the exact same emotion regardless of who makes the decisions. But I do think there has been times where it's yes, it has gone against us, but it has also helped us, with offsides, especially these days. It's like, without VAR, their first goal stands on Sunday. And, you're down in whatever quite early on, whenever it was they scored, but early in the first half anyway. So, no, personally, I think I would keep it, but they need to just find a way to improve the people running it.
Yeah, I would personally get rid of it to join Bryan. Demi, you've got some good points. I don't disagree with them. I just think it's a sad way of looking at it, but it's like the lesser of the two evils. Yeah, before VAR was a thing, of course we get shafted, but it was the split decision and the quick eye or not, or the lack of quick eye from a ref to give it or not give it. We didn't get as many shocking decisions against us before VAR was a thing. I think, in my opinion, I don't think we got nowhere near as many. Yes, we missed out on some, but that's always going to happen. At least the refs were equally shite across the board, So I think that was fairer back then. And also for me, the goal side of things, it just kills it. It kills it. I can't get excited for goals anymore because they'll find a way of chalking that off. I was saying that a lot during the Hibs game. Where Ash was like, they're going to find a way to chop this off and that off, and then we were watching the Old Firm game, and I just couldn't. And then the players as well, they don't know whether to be excited or not because it takes too long to get a decision. You maybe should put AI into this a little bit and get it to help the rest to make a quick decision. I think someone said the other day, if you can't make a decision quickly within a certain length of time, you go with the on-field decision of the ref. In my opinion, because I hate VAR. Just get it in a bin. I hate it. Go line technology instead.
Yeah, I mean, Hamish is making the point. In rugby, VAR is shown on the big screens in the stadium, so the fans can see it. You don't hear the chat between the referee and the TMO, but when the decision is made, the ref switches to his mic and explains the decision. So, you know what I mean? That's for me what should be happening. The referee and the VAR need to discuss what's happening, not the referee getting instructed to go and look at a screen because they think they've seen something wrong. Well, and unless the referee's seen it and it's, like a horribly wild, bad sort of miss, then you let the referee carry on. But too much of this now is VAR getting involved when they either... Because I don't think TMO gets involved like VAR. I'm sure TMO. Somebody will, clarify this. I'm sure TMO only get involved when the referee wants them to get involved. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that a fair shout? I don't know. I always thought that TMO was the last resort for a referee. If he wants something, he'll ask them. But until the referee asks them, then nothing's said. But we'll see. As I say, that's just what I would like, in my honest opinion. I don't know if that is a thing.
What does it stand for? Someone tell me. TMO. Someone tell me. Does anyone know?
90. The match official. I don't know. It's something like that. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not clued up on rugby. It's not my thing. So, it's not for me. The VAR officials started on Sunday. If they'd sent Walsh to the monitor after the trusty kick and Walsh stuck with his decision, then it's all on the ref. They didn't do so. They are complicit.
He'd have to give it, wouldn't he, Bryan? That's a good point. They would have to, because the ref has seen it with his own eyes. The Sky cameras are trained on him looking at the screen. So if he didn't give that, then he gets it on the chin more so than the video assistant referees.
Correct. So they didn't want to throw him under the bus effectively, did they?
Yeah, simple exactly, mate.
So good point. Well, good point. So of course we have a game on Thursday. Demi, looking forward to
it. I wouldn't say looking forward. I wouldn't say looking forward to it. I'll be there. I think there's sort of more nerves than anything else. Because it's we thought that we're 3 games in now, I believe, and we were expecting to have at least sort of at least 4 at a minimum points with the draw that we had, potentially even more, and at the moment we have none. So I think it's a game that we really have to pick up some form of points. So it's the nerves of can we or what's going to happen.
Yes, and it's Roma we're playing, Motherwell fan 5. Roma, so Roma, a new team, a new club at Ibrox. I don't think they've appeared at Ibrox before, Roma, so this is a new one, I think.
Have we ever played them? I wonder, even at their stadium, surely.
No, I don't think we have.
Wow.
Pretty sure.
I'm looking forward to it, Bryan, a little bit, just purely because it's more about catching up with my pal. But I I just wished Sunday hadn't happened so we could have went in with a bit more confidence. And sod's law, we could turn it around for the game. You never know. It's a bit annoying because at least in previous seasons when we were absolutely pish in the league, we still had Europe to look forward to, which pissed me off that we only turned up in Europe and not domestically. But it's a double-edged sword, like they shouldn't be doing that, but at least I could look forward to it in a way. And now I can't even do that because we're just pish-wary across the board, aren't we, man? So it doesn't matter, full stop. I just hope we go in and show continued signs of improvement. I'm not looking for a miracle. I'm just looking for signs of improvement. I don't want to get embarrassed. If we have to lose, then yes, I have a pal, Paul. It's only Ash that's my pal. That's the only friend I've got. If we have to lose with dignity and actually seeing something in the loss, I can just about accept that. Europe is still salvageable. Just if we get our shit sorted, this new formula for the European competitions makes it easier to get into the next stage. So let's not F this up. Let's have something. We want to keep European football going after Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be us, folks. That is us for your afternoon rabble tonight. It is the return of the Thompson Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So he is on tonight. And I can't remember who's on with him. Excuse me, tonight. But yes, he is back on tonight with his Thompson Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So tune in for that. It's a member show. If you're not a member and you want to join, then click the link in the description below and you'll get a lot of content during the day and in the evenings as well. But for today, thank you very much, Trev.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Demi, thank you.
Thank you. See you later.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us, folks. As I say, 7 o'clock tonight, Thompson Tuesdays. Go and join us and we'll speak very, very soon.